Yo, what's going on, guys? Before you check out this video, I just want you to know if you're on Facebook or Instagram, make sure you check those out down here below because I'm constantly putting up content on those as well if that's your platform. Enjoy the video. Yo, what's going on, guys? Chris Bonner here, Overtime Athletes. Today, what I wanted to make a video on is something I commonly get. Sometimes I get it from quarterbacks. Sometimes I get it from a lot of you baseball players. A lot of you guys are wondering how to throw faster, more velocity, or throw further. So what I wanted to do was just pinpoint a couple ideas. Maybe I'll make a follow-up video of actual exercises. But what I wanted to do was just establish some things that you should probably be looking for when throwing further and breaking it down, or faster, if you will. So as you can see here, my drawing of a pitcher. But what I'd like to do is just kind of go over a couple of things that I'm looking for when I'm improving it. Now, obviously, depending on where you're at, it is very customizable to that particular athlete. So I know there's some general things that you can improve on an athlete, but for the most part, it is very, athlete A might be different than athlete B when it comes to improving their velocity. But as a general standpoint, things that I look for in the gym to increase somebody's velocity or throwing it further, we'll start with one of the basics. I know a lot of you guys talk about this, but if we're talking purely in the shoulder joint, right? So what I like to do here is I like to A, create stability, B, create mobility, and this is with your external rotation, because obviously the more mobility you're getting coming back, you're almost creating like a slingshot, like a whip effect, right? I like to create strength to really balance it out, since everything you're doing is internal rotation. And a lot of the exercises I like to do, I like to make sure that you're not impinged, so that you are externally rotated, even if you're pressing, neutral grip, if you're performing something a lot of supinated, so your underhand, you're already externally rotated and not internally rotated. That's why I do a lot of close grip bench and not a lot of regular bench with my athletes or my baseball players, and I do a lot of neutral grip. So for here, create stability within the scapula, within the shoulder, increase strength in the external rotation, and create stability throughout that shoulder joint, right? Glenohumeral head, or joint, I'm sorry. Then after that, the next big thing that I like to do, you can't see it, but in his back, I like to work a lot of upper back. Like I said, I want to create that stability within the scapula, but not only that, I want to create it across that T-spine. I want to create strength in the upper back. I also want to create mobility in that T-spine as well. So it's on the back side here, but it's right around the T-spine here, right? Then from there, I really like to focus on the lower body, and I really like to focus on the glutes here. With the glutes, any kind of general power, plyometrics that you can perform are going to, if I can increase an athlete's broad or vertical, they're going to increase, it's almost directly going to transfer over to throwing velocity. However, what I like to do, especially with a lot of my baseball athletes, is I like to start off with general, increasing their bilateral power. But what I like to do in the beginning to increase their bilateral power is perform a lot of unilateral strength, a lot of unilateral plyometrics or deceleration movements, so they really can absorb that force to ultimately produce it at the end where it's unilateral powers, right? So I start with unilateral stability and absorbing force, move more into bilateral power of producing force, and then I go into unilateral producing force, okay? So basically what that looks like is a lot of stability on one leg, a lot of learning how to do, certain things to decelerate properly. Then I'll do a lot of broad vertical box jumps, bilateral, 2 legs, and then I'll finish off with a lot of single leg box jumps, single leg lateral, alpine ski jumps, things of that nature. Along with this, I like to create strength. So obviously get your squat up. Some of you guys, I really like to focus on the squat and box squat for these. And maybe some kind of lunges, step ups, elevated reverse lunge, things of that nature that are going to target this area. Even lateral lunges are great too. And then finally, when it comes to the core, I've made a video about this before, but 3 phases that I like to attack the core with to increase velocity is going to be Stability in the beginning, obviously, and this obviously, stability, that's an I. I like to create, rotational force, but I like to balance them out. Obviously, I do a lot of the opposite. If you think of them like a washcloth, you want to unring them out, right? So I'm creating some kind of, creating stability there. And I want to produce torque. That's why I do a lot on the opposite side. And then integration. So I want to integrate and be able to transfer force. So the reason why we create so much stability through here is because as an athlete, he first pushes off his leg here, right? Drives, transfers energy through his core, through his torso, right? And into his upper body. So if you think about it, even hitters, I mean, this is so important for hitters, but if I'm transferring that energy, I want to be able to obviously utilize and be able to push through, transfer that energy as efficiently as possible. So driving through that leg and then transferring it up to the upper body. And that's really what I do with the core. So a lot of you guys think you have to do a lot of rotational stuff. While I do add rotational stuff, to me, it's more about stability and integration through that. Basically when I say integration, it's movements that are working the torso, but also working, the shoulders or the lower body. So you're integrating multi-movements into one. So I hope that helps as a general overview. I can get into exercise in the next video, but that's how to improve your throwing velocity. I'll catch you guys next time. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. If you're interested in becoming a better athlete, whether that be sprinting, jumping, strength, or overall looking like an athlete, go ahead and click the box here on my side and make sure that you subscribe to my videos here so I can keep sending them to you. Holler.